What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about the clan boss. Once again, my favorite part of the game. What's that? We're not talking... Hold on, I'm being notified by my director that we're talking about arena today. Huh. So I'm kind of a clan boss guy. I don't really know a lot about the arena. I've been kind of winging it from my last videos. Tried to do this whole calculated, I'm retired from clan boss, but I really love clan boss and I'm going back to it. Alright. Yeah, I get it. Because YouTubers have directors, right? So anyways, we're going to be talking about the arena, apparently. And so let's just start with 3v3. So obviously the arena is an extremely complex part of this game. Tons of theory crafting goes involved to it. You have to calculate your enemy's speed, your speed, all of this goes into it. I'm rather new, I don't really know a lot about it, I'm not gonna lie. I did push for platinum this past reset, and my stream title was aiming for rank 300 out of 300 because honestly, I'm not that good. I don't know enough, and it would be silly for me to go in there with no knowledge and actually do well. So as you guys probably know, Gods and Legends has a lot of really competitive arena players who kind of do this like 24/7. They're always theory crafting, coming up with the best teams possible. So I want to give a huge shout out to all of my clan members. If you're watching, you guys are great. You guys are really good at the arena. So it turns out that we did have a booster this week. The real clan one went to our second place, who was actually one of our clanmates, and that clanmate was Want to Mess, so huge shout out to you. He got the like official rank 1 outside of the booster. Moving on to third place, we have our awesome friend 4K Definition, followed by fourth place, who was the man, the myth, the legend himself, GNL Kalari. Huge shout out to you, man. I know all of you guys really do a ton for arena, and so the rank 5 player was actually oh yeah, I got rank 5. Interesting. So definitely shout out to you guys. You guys are my favorite. I know Kalari, we talk all the time. You did catch me on that one screen where I ended up not one keying with my Ana. I did get unfortunate luck, and you said LOL, MurderInc can't even one key in Ultra Nightmare. So my response, LOL, I know nothing about arena. I got rank 5 in platinum with zero knowledge. You guys do this all the time, and Clara, you only got rank 4. Try harder, bud. Alright guys, let's get right into this video. We're talking about 3v3, going a little bit in depth. For those of you who don't know, this is the week that's going to determine who gets those rewards based on the tier that you're in. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have it up on the screen here. Unfortunately, I only have silver through gold 4. I'm not sure why the top portion got cut off, but based on where you end after this week, these are the rewards you're going to get. As you can see, if you do end up in gold 4, you're going to get 6 pieces of 6-star legendary deflection and swift parry, 10 million silver, 6 3-star chickens, 4 4-star chickens, 5 5-star chickens, 5 rare books, not sure why they did that, 3 epic books, as well as 3 legendary books, and it just moves on down the tier. I'm not going to go through all of them and waste your time with that, but this is the time to push. I'm going to give you my limited knowledge on the arena and what I have to say about 3v3 that can possibly help you in getting promoted for this next reset to make sure you're getting that next level of these rewards here on the screen. So one of the huge factors that all of this is going to boil down to is analysis. This is really important in all of arena. I know people say all of these tiers are very hard. Honestly, and I hate to be brutally honest with you, a lot of people just don't understand arena and they don't put in the effort. If you actually put in the effort to build a proper team, you would be doing much better. You wouldn't be getting beat by the teams you're getting beat on. But I'm going to move forward and we're going to get in for 3v3. So the first thing you're going to want to do, go to your defense, or go to your battle log and check out your battle log. Now this is actually the perfect example. I usually don't get attacked a lot on defense. I want to say each week I average from 5 to 7 attacks per week. Now since this is the reset, I already got hit 3 times. Now you as the viewer, you guys are really smart. Just think with me for a second. The first thing you notice here is my first team is always winning. I have like a trick team going on here where I have champions that you would think they would do something, but they actually do something else, and it works really well. So what we can do from this is know that team 1 works, Team 2 and Team 3 aren't working out. Next thing we look at is what are people doing against Team 2? As you can see, every single team so far is using a speed team to knock this team out. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, what's the best I can do to counter a speed team? Whether it's the Cardinal strat, making sure all of my teammates but Cardinal die, she revives them, strips the buffs, does some damage to them, and I get that second win out of there. Because defense is going to play a huge role in this last week if you really want to push and be efficient with how many tokens you get per day, wins, and so on and so forth. Then obviously you would apply the same thing to Team 3. We're looking at a shield team set. We have Gataga being the first attacker on the screen here, using a Krisk and a Mountain King, probably in a shield set. Also going with damage reduction with that Duchess. The second team, another Mountain King, probably once again in a shield set. And the third team, a Krisk, a Mountain King, and a Razin. So it's really easy to see what these people are doing. They're all using the same strategy to beat me, and this is really good for me as the player to analyze and say, now that I know that everyone's using the same thing to beat me and it's working effectively, all I have to do is counter this. Keep the same champions, maybe change some gear, change 1 or 2 champions. If I change the whole team, I go all the way back to square one, so that's not something I'm looking to do. So this is going to be huge, not only for this week since the ranking period's over, but in general, if you're looking to farm those gold bars, get whatever type of rewards you're looking for, the best way to do it is to analyze your defense and improve on your defense first. As far as offense goes, there's tons of strategies, knowing which teams you can fight, which teams you can't fight, and that kind of goes back to any classic arena video, which I have plenty of, knowing how to counter certain champions. So the main focus here is definitely going to be on defense and how I just explained how to analyze this aspect of the game. Now, while I'm being selfish and I don't want to show my first team, I will show this third team here, and something you can use as some sort of mind game tactic that you can use. So the first thing I could do here is I can either build a full resistance Duchess, which most people do, to make sure they're not getting any debuffs on them, having that chance to revive. I do have double Rotos here, which isn't going to be commonly used, but one thing I could do with Duchess is, as we can see, I have no turn meter boost on this whole team. So no one's going to take speed seriously when fighting a team with only a Duchess on it and no turn meter boosters. So the first thing I can do to make sure that I'm always going first, put my best speed gear on this Duchess here. Granted, my other 2 teams are all set and don't need it. No one's really going to expect me to have 330 or 340 speed on this Duchess here, so that's the first shock and awe factor that I can definitely go for. Now on top of this, one thing that I did do, and I'm okay with saying it, is I do have a resistance Rotos, which is that 100 power Rotos you see to the right, and then right next to him to the left, I do have a Rotos in lifesteal gear. This provides a ton of sustain, and it isn't good enough to be the group of players I'm currently playing against. I'm kind of facing the platinum level of players right now in the arena, since we are in the bracket right before the final one, really shrinking that group of the best players altogether, with everyone really fighting to move on. Outside of a Krisk Mountain King team with a gigantic shield that would be very hard to break, I have a lifesteal Rotos. It provides a ton of sustain and is a huge nuisance to a lot of people because mostly they're not expecting it. Dealing him to half health, him proccing his passive, and him healing back to full, and just slowly rinse and repeating that cycle, it's really hard to kill a Rotos, especially if the enemy team wasn't smart enough to build a double hit champion. Now, one thing that I could do is, most of the top players who have faced me, if they understand how my hegemons are geared, I have them geared full damage. What I could do is I could take this hegemon, build them with insane speed, like 280 speed, a stun set, and while they would be building to kind of negate all of my damage, he would actually be doing no damage. He would be providing an incredible amount of CC with that stun set. Obviously I would redo his masteries, and it would pretty much give them the opportunity and give myself that edge up in getting an extra win on my defense that I wouldn't normally be getting, using the knowledge to my advantage that most people already know how I have my champions geared. So while I understand most people don't have a Duchess, hegemon, and 2 Rotos, it really doesn't matter what kind of champions I have. I'm just explaining the basic concept to you. Another thing you can do is, if you're building a team kind of like my second team here, and this is actually what I did, it's harder to get away with in these higher brackets, but if you do something like this in the lower bracket, I guarantee you're going to do very well. So all of these champions are actually in immunity gear. So this is screaming for a player to use a Hegemon. It's screaming for a player to use a Tormund. That's going to do nothing against this team, because if they use a Hegemon, Molly Tankard's going to boost the team. I have the masteries on all of these champions with Cycle of Revenge, where if they get crit, it's going to boost the turn meter, pushing my Lysandra to go before their speed leader, who's in full speed gear, I guarantee you, and that's a huge shock and awe effect there. On top of my second point, where usually when people are running a Tormund against a team like this, they don't really care. They're not going to waste their fastest champion on it. So that's going to give my team that additional edge as well, making sure that I go first. Warlord's going to use his A3. Since I'm in an immunity set, he's going to lock their whole team out, and I'm going to have a very easy win going into this. So those are just a few ways that you can use this to your advantage to make sure when you're pushing for that next week, you have everything down and you're prepared to move on to that next bracket. Now, the only reason I bring this up, and I'm trying to reiterate the point that this is such a big deal, is because I've talked about this before and people just aren't doing it, and I don't understand why. So most of the teams that I'm fighting, I can completely calculate what their teams are going to be and how they're going to be built. I can lose to RNG, it's happened before, a Rotos and Relentless Gear popping off. There's nothing I can do against that, so I am losing those battles. But people are really taking the guessing game out of 3v3 because they're putting their fastest champion in the first team, or they're making it very obvious based on the team they're building around their champion who has their fastest champion. So let's look at this team that I attacked right here. The first team is easy to tell that Raglan has insane resistance, so if I wanted to beat it, I would use someone like a Shamrock or a Shatterbones with the accuracy aura, or I would just not even consider trying to debuff them and winning without that. They do have the annoying combo of Manaya and Kornar together, and finally a Tormund, so this is something I can easily use. I bring a Duchess, I bring a Trunda, I bring one Rotos, two Rotos, doesn't matter, and I have a pretty easy win there. Now the second team here, it's very obvious that the fastest champion on their team is on this second team here, because if they don't go first, they lose. So there's no point in them burning their second fastest, third fastest, or fourth fastest champion in this second team. It wouldn't make any sense, and it would be an automatic loss regardless. Which leads us to our third team here. We know their fastest champion isn't going to be on this third team, so I can use my fastest champion, and I have literally like a 90% chance of winning, because not many people can build two champions over 350 speed. It's very hard to do, and I don't know many people who can do that, so it's a fair assumption that's not the problem. Another huge indication is they ran two turn meter boosters, one being Lysandra, who has a push down effect with that decreased turn meter, the next being Sifi, a huge indication that they had to run two because they knew that these champions were slower than average. So all you have to do is use your fastest champion against a team like this. Make sure you're using Zombie Lord's calculator, or you're calculating it yourself to make sure you don't get cut off, and this is an easy like 3-second farm win. So that's how you can break this down, and that's why I'm not really stressing as much on attacking on the offense, because having a good defense and realizing how to analyze your defense completely correlates with how you approach everything on offense. Alright guys, so that was my quick video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I have some really cool videos coming out for you guys, and I'm excited to show you. Don't forget, if you like this content, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next video, and I will see you all in my next upload.